Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Rochester Regionals. This is the last game. This is the big one, the ultimate finals here. Whoever wins here is taking the cake. My name's Tim.
And I'm Chris.
And here we've got Ben on the left playing Kate, and Dien on the right playing Replicating Perfection. The matchup no one expected to see in the finals.
Right around this time, this was everywhere.
Yeah.
Kate especially was the most popular runner, and RP has been so strong for about a year now.
Right.
And although some other decks are popping up, you just can't get away from it.
Right. These are, I feel, kind of the bar for tournament caliber decks. If you can't, as a corp, easily, well, not easily, but go at least even with Kate, you probably should reconsider, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm. So, for that reason, among other reasons, this is a very interesting matchup.
Yes.
And these two players played this exact same pairing earlier in elimination practice,
yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
That's great.
So Dean probably knows what Ben on the left is doing in terms of breakers. Now, remind me, is he using Cyber Ciphers or is he using Gordian?
It is Cyber Ciphers as far as I know. I think it's the Kalimsha Kate we're calling it these days, or it's Cyber Ciphers and Ladies. And then I think it's the Quality Time Symmetrical Visage draw package.
I see. Well, in a way, when I'm playing RP and I see I'm playing against Cyber Cipher, I almost prefer it. It depends what Dien's packing in terms of ice.
Mm-hmm.
But you can pretty easily keep Sundew secured if you have a couple quandaries in front of them.
Yep.
Because then you're spreading those Cyber Ciphers thin.
Yes. Yeah, and I know a lot of people, in response to Kate getting so popular, kind of upped the number of code gates and barriers they were running. So you can use code gates to protect assets and then just tax on barriers with Lady.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it looks like Dien left his HQ open here, and we'll see what Ben is going for. Oh, he is running.
Puts down the vice pad and just goes in on HQ. Likely just checking here, because I think in their first game, Dien had a pretty flush HQ off his opening draw. So Ben just checking to make sure that isn't there again, I guess.
Yeah. Also probably really just going to check that asset, but he's not trashing the mental health clinic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess if you're going to let it run for a turn or two, that's not so bad.
So Dien icing up HQ there a little bit. I think we saw a Future Perfect in hand, so that seems wise.
Yeah. Withholding the Celebrity Gift. So if I'm Ben, I know he has a Celebrity Gift in hand. And if he doesn't play it, he's probably keeping something a secret.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's got the 2 voice pads on the table. That's a good start for Econ, but not much else.
So
well, there it is.
And showing him Future Perfect and a lot of trashable stuff. So it's tempting to go in on HQ here, although Ben is a little low on money to trash things out.
Mm-hmm. That boot camp is going to be huge, because in this matchup, that boot camp equals, if Dien's backing, which I'm pretty sure he is, it equals a blacklist.
Yes.
And that's the pretty much the hardest shutdown to Kate.
Yes, yeah, I agree. And yeah, he threw the crick on archive, so he knows that the entirety of HQ is trashable currently. So that's or stealable. So good knowledge there.
Yeah, that would be a timely legwork if he has it just as a clear. Because I'm sure he's got the same old things coming down the pipe.
Right.
It doesn't look like he has it in hand.
Yeah, looks like we've got a Maker's Eye. Throws one of the Maker's Eyes. Stim Hack, Dirty Laundry. A lot of the stuff you'd expect, I suppose.
Is that a Cortex lock he just threw down?
I believe it is, yeah.
That's a big play early, especially against Kate. Once she gets the console out, maybe
Astrolabe,
the Astrolabe. Maybe she's running with an SMC and will take only 3 net damage, but either it's going to be a hit or it's going to force fetching the Mimic if you have a Data Sucker, or it is AP if he's running a Deus Ex. But that just feels like such a waste.
Yeah, I've been forced to do it, but yeah, it always feels terrible. And there is, he is running the Cyber Cipher version for sure, and he puts it over on HQ.
Or an R&D.
R&D, sorry, yep. So likely his only HQ pressure here is a legwork. Some people have used Vamp, I've seen. But again, Shaper just packing a ton of R&D pressure, so putting it over there.
I mean, and against RP, that's probably what he wants to be doing. In the early game, it's taking some setup, so it's good that he checks HQ every once in a while. But with the Jackson on the board to clear the hand like he just did, R&D is where he's going to beat him.
Yeah, exactly.
The remotes are going to get out of hand, and once RP gets set up, it's just winning out as quickly as possible.
Right, exactly. And that's what at least we must have played this matchup a million times, getting ready for this. And that was kind of what we had found is that early game as Kate, you really want to go in and pressure the econ of RP.
Mm-hmm.
And try to slow them down so that they can't just clear the hand and build. And Ben asking Dien if his PPVPs can count as memory for this Cortex lock. Dien not going for it, unfortunately.
Fair.
So losing 3 cards, and this is where you wonder whether he's running Fetal AI.
That would be huge here.
And sees nothing there.
That's a drag.
Yeah,
the Fetal sometimes are one of. Mm-hmm. I once got totally surprised by someone running 2 of.
Ooh.
Hit him both on a Maker's Eye.
Ouch.
It definitely caught me off guard.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, a 1 of, I would say, is the standard at most out of RP.
That's what we've seen usually is that there's the kind of standard Niseis and Future Perfects, and then you have a couple flex slots in the last few. There's usually NAPDs, but a lot of people have started shifting those around a bit.
So Dien drawing into the blacklist, but unfortunately doesn't have any ice to protect it right now. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to do a whole lot of work. But really, it's not crucial until you see some recursion on the board.
Right.
Once you get those clone chips and same old things out. Mm-hmm. It also, huge against Cyber Cypher, can't scavenge it to move it.
Yeah, and we saw Ben discard a scavenge earlier, so that's definitely his plan. Mm-hmm. So being able to shut that down is pretty huge. Both, Dien sitting on a fat stack of credits. Ben building up pretty well also. Yeah. But this is where it's getting to the point where if Dien can get drawn to a little bit of ice, he's got a pretty good scoring window, it looks like to me. Of course, Ben plays a quality time and likely draws up into something that will help eliminate that scoring window, but we'll see.
I saw a clone chip, some econ, and a legwork were the big ones. Oh, and the Astrolabe, it looks like he just drew as the last card. So that's big.
Okay, and he plays the Astrolabe and the clone chip out. Now that he knows Cortex Lock is on the table and also a threat for elsewhere, likely won't go blasting into things face first.
Mm-hmm. Can play around it a little bit.
Right, so it's okay playing that extra MU.
And really, just dropping an SMC will mitigate the damage just down to 2.
Right.
Which is a huge play.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. He's got the clone chip on the board in case he loses anything crucial. And there's
building a remote with... Was that Blacklist or Caprice? That was Blacklist that went down there. So yeah, as soon as he sees the clone chip hit the table, Blacklist goes down hard.
You can't blame him.
No, certainly not.
So probably just waiting. Maybe he's going to build a second scoring remote behind a code gate to try and score out, preventing the scavenge, or even just slowing down his tempo. If he gets an SMC, draws into it, plays it, can't clone chip it back.
Right.
So
yeah, he's building up some strong remotes, which does stretch his central ice a little thin, which against Shaper is always a risk, especially on R&D. Yes. But at this point, the Jackson's still on the table. He likely knows he's thrown a few into archives, and as a crick, they're protecting it, so things are pretty safe for now. Mm-hmm. Oh, the third voice pad. Econ is going to be humming.
And there's the share gamble off of it?
Yeah, it looks that way.
That feels good.
7 credit share gamble.
So he's got all this money. Oh, there's the SMC.
Okay, and there's the SMC.
I was just going to say, I can't put the pressure yet, but...
Yeah. So, of course, he doesn't know that's a blacklist down there, so Ben probably assumes... Oh, no, it's not. He still has a blacklist in hand, unless he's running... Oh, okay, maybe that was a Caprice that went down there.
Sorry about that, I misspoke. Yeah, because he dropped the agenda in the scoring remote there, advanced once, trying to get that Nisei counter going.
Right, so he has to go take care of the blacklist first. Normally a 2-deep remote isn't a big deal when you have SMC and clone chip, but in this case he's got to go clear the blacklist first. So
what's your move here? Are you using that legwork you've been holding on to?
Well, so the problem with the legwork is he'd have to get something onto HQ that he can get through the evening with because he's on Cyber Cypher, and Scavenge is shut down currently. Mm-hmm. So he's a zoo. Okay.
There you go. So he drops the zoo. He's going to take the
Maker's Eye. Yeah. Takes the indexing, which against RP is tough because getting in twice is very expensive. Mm-hmm. So ignoring the remote play and just going for scores off R&D.
Yeah. Let's see.
Nothing again. Wow, that's 2 Maker's Eye whiffs.
That's a drag. And he's got so much money right now, you got to expect he didn't see anything that he could trash either.
Right. So it's all ice, most likely, econ operations. And goes in on the remote, though.
Ooh. Well, It looks like he's debating. Yeah, he reses
Okay,
the toll booth.
toll booth. Okay, so Ben considering whether to break the toll booth here. So it's what, 8 credits with Zoo, and then
he's expecting Caprice as he should.
Right.
So you got to save at least 2 for the side game. That leaves you three of wiggle room.
Right.
So, I mean, I can't imagine what if I were in the situation, I'd probably bounce.
Yeah, because then you have to fetch something up with SMC, and I think you just run out of money. So.
And, it's probably, from his perspective, it's probably a Nisei, but it could be an NAPD.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the risk. Is okay, so he is breaking, it looks like. Or no, he's just paying the toll. And then dirty laundering over on the blacklist to get rid of that.
Makes sense. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Which leaves him on a fair bit of cash.
Got your losses. Well, that's a drag. He whiffed on a triple access.
Oof, and then...
Couldn't get in. Let the Nisei counter happen.
Ouch.
Wow.
And, yeah, Dien is gaining 1 credit his turn, 2 credits on Ben's turn, and is out to a pretty sizable credit lead. Ben considering the legwork, it looks like.
I'm not sure if I were in his situation, I'm not sure if I would legwork here.
Yeah.
He's been clearing with Jackson, and because he scored out the Nisei, he was probably digging for that.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he showed the Future Perfect earlier.
Yeah.
You could expect him to still have it, but you can't know for sure.
Right. At this point, there's a few face down in archives. You probably think he's pitched it at some point.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, HQ, I think, looks a little slim at this point to me.
I think at this point, you wait for like a second click Jackson until you legwork. First click Jackson, if he draws an agenda, he's dropping it.
It looks like he does legwork, though.
Okay.
And we know there is a Future Perfect still in there, and I think a Caprice as well. It's a celebrity gift, which is unfortunate. There's Caprice, so yeah, trash her immediately.
Die.
And interns. Oh, that's unfortunate to see after trashing Caprice.
Oh, man. That is a drag.
And runs on the Sundew server. Seeing a pup. At this point, I think you probably, you pay through. Trash the Sundew.
Right on. Could consider blowing it up. Turns on his Astrolabe again. If he was to install another asset economy. But did he have enough? No, he'd just be short.
Yeah, on the grabbing the parasite, you mean?
Yeah, just shy.
And interns back in the blacklist into that pup server and ices it.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Just when I was doubting him, he comes through.
Okay, so that... Nope.
Oh, what's this?
What now? Oh, he's considering whether after the interns, Dien says he doesn't res, and so he's considering the clone chip use, which is he does.
Okay.
Pulls the data sucker in.
Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, by Dien saying I'm installing a second piece of ice, he's waiving his window, which lets Ben pull in the data sucker off the clone chip.
Definitely a good play. You're going to want that now anyway. He's probably going to keep hammering at R&D.
Yep, and that fills out his memory, so he can just ignore Cortex lock now.
Yep. Make the toll booth a little easier if he doesn't... I mean, he can't scavenge the Cyber Cipher, so he's got to use Zool for that scoring window toll booth.
Yeah, and as far as Ben knows, HQ is clean, so the plan looks like hit R&D hard here.
I mean, you got to. And he's had 6 accesses in R&D with no luck, so they got to be coming soon.
There are agendas somewhere in this deck. We assume.
I would hope so.
Ooh, and he drops the Future Perfect in. And this is looking pretty tough.
Yeah, this is a tough situation. At only 10 creds, there's not a lot of options you have.
Right, because Zoo is costing you 8 to get through Toll Booth. Then there's a Caprice at the bottom, a Nisei token. But if you don't pressure it, he's at 5 points with a Nisei token and a Caprice.
Yeah, this is just a drag for Ben.
Yeah.
If I'm in his shoes, I either try and money up so the next time I have a better chance, or just try and scoop some stuff out of the top in R&D to slow down the RP deck.
Right.
You just don't want to allow him to win out now, because that's definitely what he's going for.
Right.
And do we know that's a Future Perfect? I didn't catch it.
I Didn't see it go down, but that was the only agenda I saw in his hand, at least last turn. And since he double advanced it, I'm assuming that's what it is. It could be, I think Dien might be running another 3-pointer in his deck, so it could be, I think it was like a Hades fragment. So it could be that.
Yeah. Or he could be doing the double advance the Nisei, try and bluff it out at the future perfect.
So that and he parasites onto the toll booth.
Yeah, I like that play.
Yep, knowing that he'll eventually want to get rid of it. I don't think he can make enough runs this turn to burn it down.
No, but it'll help, and really it's just to turn on future scores.
Yes, exactly. Otherwise this becomes a nigh impenetrable remote over here. Because really what you want to be able to do is get the toll booth out of the way, run in there on some turn where he's not trying to score, trash out Caprice, and then leave it as an option for the future.
Yeah. He already burnt the interns. RP normally runs only one intern, sometimes two. So he killed the Caprice, and if he kills this other Caprice and there's no interns, it's a pretty open server until he draws the third one.
Right.
Assuming he's running 3, which I feel like he probably is.
Seems like a good call.
Yeah. The other thing, though, that he's probably thinking about is how he can force that Nisei counter.
Right.
Because even if there's no Caprice in the scoring server, if he has that Nisei counter and there's some taxing ice, he could just win by taxing him out.
Right.
So what do we get?
When we score the future perfect.
It is future perfect.
Going to 5 points, Nisei counter up.
So if I'm Dien here, I'm digging for my NAPD.
Yeah.
Or at least I'm praying for the NAPD.
That's exactly what you want, because getting down through the server 2 or 3 times at least, and then having enough money left to pay for NAPD.
So we'll see what Ben does here. Does he have any multi-access in hand?
I don't think so.
He does have another Cyber Cipher, not a huge deal here. I mean, that helps with Toll Booth, but it already has 2 counters on it, so... I mean, if I'm him, I drop that Diesel, try and get some Econ and some multi-access, and hope to survive another turn.
Right.
There's not a lot of options.
Yeah, because at this point, you kind of want to dig R&D, but you don't want to put yourself too low that you can't challenge a remote if it comes up. So you have to do this kind of balancing act where you're pressuring without making yourself go broke.
Yeah.
Diesel.
He hits the Dirty Laundry. That's really not ideal. Is he Dirty Laundering R&D, was that?
It looks that way. He'll probably take some of the damage. Oh, he's asking Dien if it's okay if he plays Lady first and then Dirty Laundry's R&D. And he lets him. Good guy that he is.
Yeah. Makes sense. Fill up the memory, just pay with the Cyber Cipher.
Oh, and he grabs the Hades fragment.
That's big.
Putting him to 3 points. And R&D is still cheap. This makes things interesting.
Do you go back? It's great to score the agenda, but in a way you almost kind of don't. If it wasn't there, it wouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah, right. So at least making sure that he doesn't just draw the NAPD or something off the top.
Paying for a single access.
And it's nothing. Okay.
So, I mean, if I'm Dien, I know this is not an agenda. I click one draw, and if it's, what is he dropping?
Oh, did he have something in hand there?
He must have. We must have missed it.
Yeah. Okay, so this gets tough. So Ben will be in range to parasite down the toll booth on the remote this turn.
Yeah.
But
I think does
he have enough juice to go through a bunch of times?
I think what you do here, you try and get some money if you can. You run R&D and jack out after the Cortex lock to save your money.
Yep.
Blow up the toll booth and hope that's small ice behind it.
Right, that you can get on through a couple times.
But 2 Psy games, that's...
Yeah. Having to win 2 in a row with 1 in 9.
You need 4 credits to make that a viable option.
Right. He does have a lucky find in hand, but it only leaves him 1 run on the remote, which loses
brutal.
The game, because of the Nisei.
He's not splashing Doppelganger? What are you thinking, Ben? Come on.
Secret sauce.
Yeah, this is tough. A sure gamble would do work here, but the lucky find is just not good.
The one time that lucky find is not the greatest card.
I mean, maybe you same old thing the Dirty Laundry just to get in your central run and get some econ. I'll leave you with 2 clicks.
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh no, he can't. He's got Blacklist on the board.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So all the clone chips and everything are a no-go.
Jeez. I feel for you, Ben. This is rough.
This is one of those situations where you feel like there's got to be a way out, but there sometimes is not.
This is where you just concede that you're going to lose on the next turn, and you Maker's Eye and hope for the
just
best.
go for it. Well, although at this point, unless he Maker's Eye first click, Dien probably just Nisei counters any run on R&D.
Yep, that's true.
Which I played Ben earlier in the tournament, and that was the unfortunate situation I found myself in, is that he just Nisei'd my glory runs at the end.
Yeah.
So that...
Gotta do it.
Yeah, and 6 credits, though.
I mean, maybe what he does is... This is optimal, I guess. Plays the Maker's Eye. If he has it, I missed it. I'm already forgetting.
Mm-hmm.
Tries to force the Nisei counter, and then you only have to win 1 side game.
Yeah, it's a hail. Does he have enough? So it would cost him 3 credits to get in on R&D.
You could lose the click.
He could. I don't know. That's tough, though.
That's really tough.
It lets you have a Hail Mary, though, at the remote, I guess, if you lose the click.
Just for the 1 side game, hoping it's not in an APD.
Okay, so he does make the run on R&D, just a regular run on R&D, and sees nothing.
All right, well, here goes nothing for him, I guess. Blow up the toll booth.
Yeah. But you really have to take... So it does get him the data sucker, which isn't hugely relevant here, but you do have to take a credit so that you can pay the toll and then still Caprice. But, of course, he has another ice, which will force you to spend some more money.
Yeah. Well, it could be another Cortex lock.
It could. It could just be a clever bluff.
It could be. That's been down there a long time.
Yeah, that was their... Oh, no, I guess that was a scoring zero the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's probably... Okay, so yeah, he does take the credit and go, which lets him kill the toll booth, and if this is something he can get through for free, he can Caprice once.
What is it?
And it is... It's Eli.
Yeah, it's Eli.
Yeah, Eli.
That's it.
Caprice, there's nothing he can do here. Cost him a credit to get through Eli. Well, he can use Data Sucker to bring Eli down, Lady it, side game once, but then even if he wins the side game, Nisei counter, and he's out of money, I think.
Yeah, this is on the unfortunate end.
Yeah, offers the hand up, and that's it. He has no way of getting in, and Dien gets the victory.
Wow. Well, congrats.
I was just going through the motions here to show that it was legit, and it wasn't an APD, so there was no way he was getting that. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Dien is the champ.
Wow.
Taking home the win at the Rochester Regional.
But what a solid final game.
Yes.
I mean, Ben may have been, had the underhand the whole time, but fighting so hard.
Yeah, and if either of those Maker's Eyes had hit even a single agenda off of R&D, this would have been a much different game.
Absolutely. That's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes luck doesn't get your way. But
he's getting the pile of swag.
Getting the swag, the plastic ID, the playmat, the credit tokens.
Love it. Well, congrats to both these players for an excellent showing.
Fantastic players. Great game to have in the final. Great couple of guys. And so that's the end of our coverage here for the Rochester Regional. Thanks for sticking around, guys. And hopefully we'll have some more tournaments coming up in the near future from here in Rochester, New York. Thanks for watching.
See you later.